Alright boys, so this is going to be a different kind of a video. Today we're not going to be talking about Legends or playing the game. Today we are going to be talking about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Honestly speaking, I was not expecting a Dragon Ball announcement at all. Honestly speaking, I just gave up hopes. As soon as the teaser dropped, I was like, okay, we're gonna get something. And I kept on waiting. And we got Daima, but nothing related to Budokai Tenkaichi 4. But I was asleep when I actually, when the trailer dropped. And then as soon as I woke up, I checked my Twitter and it was all over my timeline, all over the place. People were freaking out. Now, okay, I watched the trailer and I will dissect what I checked, what I found out. We are going to be going up on all the information that we have regarding the game. So the trailer begins with I think it is a cinematic mode, which I think all of the characters will have an access to. So if you've played Raging Blast, sometimes there are certain types of I think it's in Raging Blast, I do not know, but there are some special interactions between units or characters. So I'm not too sure whether it's the same thing. Either it could just be a simple intro like we have in Fighter Z. Characters are talking, they're taunting each other, but they're like having flashy entries. But here we have an interactive or clashable entry, which means that they're going to play a little cinematic mode, and then boom, we fight, and we are going to start the match. Then we see the little actions that Goku and Vegeta do. Not actions, but how they fight. So what I got from that is it is literally Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but better, refined, and a lot more, I think, interactive or reactive. Of course, it's cut in. It is actual gameplay footage used, so it's not like they've made it out of the blue, or it is like for only cinematic purpose. So we have multiple vanish, or I would say, yeah, it's vanish, I think, the best word I could use. Right, we have vanishes, we have combos that can throw up us into the sky like Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Everything is literally the same, and I'm honestly really grateful about it, because Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 had everything a Dragon Ball fan could ask for. The huge roster, right? The interactive arena. And we had a lot more leverage when it came to movements. So one thing I'm kind of worried about has to be with the fact that what type of movements are we going to get? Are we going to get, like limited movements? Or is it going to be like Budokai Tenkaichi 3? Or is it going to be like Raging Blast? I'm not too sure. But I'm going all over the place. So we have them fighting, of course. Goku dodges, Vegeta dodges, right? Then we have a scene where Vegeta does a Gallic Gun. Boom, you can vanish out of the way. Then Goku does his Kamehameha, and Vegeta deflects that stuff. Do you know how amazing it is going to be able to deflect a full-fledged Kamehameha, which is a special move? So if you've played Budokai Tenkaichi 3, we could only deflect blasts, which are key blasts, normal blasts. And if you're a Legends player, if you've not played the game, so it is equivalent to you tapping from long range, and when there's a blast that goes away, we could deflect that sort of an attack in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. But here we're literally deflecting a special move. So I'm pretty sure the timing has to be correct. I'm not even sure about whether the unit is powerful than the original character in the series or on par with the character. I'm not too sure about that, but yes. And then we see Goku and Vegeta transforming. Amazing stuff. They transform. So when they transform, everything around them is getting affected, to be more precise, which means they've done a lot of work. And that means it will just be an immersive experience. And we know that Unreal Engine is working on the game. So they transform. We see like stones lifting up. If you remember the first teaser trailer we got, we saw Goku transforming. The grass was interactive. The shading of the grass changed. The trees changed. There was air around him, and then we had like stones jumping up and down. All of the good stuff. This has the same thing. Now, if you notice with like your binocular eyes, when there was the beam clash between Goku and Vegeta, there were two buttons that were showing up. So it's no more the analog stick. The beam clash is not going to be dependent on the analog sticks. It is going to be dependent upon the button you're pressing. So your opponent could get X, you could get 0 or circle, whatever you want to say, which is a huge W. I will take it completely. We are getting beam clashes. I would never, ever in my absolute mind be sad about the fact that it's not analog stick. Dude, we're getting beam clashes. That is huge. And then we shift to Frieza. He's doing his death ball, right? And the fact that we have electricity, jumping out and in of the blast, and how the area is dimmed just because of like how bright the attack is. And then when he drops the attack, whole of Namek is destroyed. We literally see it. If you remember Infinite World, if you've played the game, when you used to do a special or ultimate move that was earth shattering, like if you did Super Spirit Bomb, you would literally damage the earth or that particular area, and it could be seen throughout the space, and then you come back in. But what's different with Budokai Tenkaichi 4/Sparking Zero is that we are like, they're literally gonna make us see the damage being dealt into that particular arena. I'm not too sure if it's going to be like we're going to be able to see the attack from space as well, but we are going to see like, the whole place destroying, which might be annoying sometimes since, when you do an attack like 10 times, right, you're bored of seeing the animation. So it actually also, what matters is the timing and the time span they use to show us the effects, right? The arena react. Now, if you're wondering why is this game called Sparking Zero and not Budokai Tenkaichi 4, that is simply because in Japan, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series is called as Dragon Ball Z Sparking. And same, the Budokai Tenkaichi 2 is called as Dragon Ball Z Sparking Neo. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is called as Dragon Ball Z Sparking Meteor, and this is called Sparking Zero. Now, you may be wondering, why is it called Zero? Isn't it supposed to mean that it is a prequel to a series? Which I get you completely. I was wondering the same thing. And in game terms, of course, it means, or movies terms, it means it's a prequel, right? But the producer of this game, Mr. Jun Furutani, has given his words to us through an interview, and I will have that up on the screen right now. And he says, or I will be reading from the Twitter post that I saw the other day. He also mentions Zero tends to indicate a game ostensibly serving as a prequel entry in an ongoing game series, of course. That isn't the case with Sparking Zero. Rather, the name is meant to embody the game being an accessible starting point for longtime fans and newcomers alike, which means this game is particularly going to be a special, not special, but I would say it is going to serve as an entry gate for both newcomers and old players as well. So it is a whole revamp of what we've received already, what we've had with Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and it is a new starting point. That is what he actually means. Now, we've talked about, the graphics, arena. Now we need to talk about the most important thing, which is going to be the roster of the game. So judging by the trailer, we know we're getting Bergamo, we're getting Cell, we're getting Jiren the Grey, we're getting Broly, we're getting Hercule, and we're getting 17, the MVP 17. We're getting Goku Blue, Vegeta Blue, and we're getting Android 18 as well. And Frieza, of course. Now, judging by that clearly indicates that this game is going to be adapting Dragon Ball Super as well. So it depends whether it would go as far as, taking in the movies as well. Like, for example, Dragon Ball Super Heroes. It actually did. But would it go as far as capturing or, having the playable characters from Dragon Ball Super Heroes? I'm not too sure. I'm not going to go there yet. But what I'm sure of is that we're getting some sort of, or at least we're getting super stuff till the Tournament of Power. That is completely set in stones. Now, we will talk about the story mode. So, if I'm not wrong, and I'm assuming that we're going to be getting a huge roster, that means we're going to be getting OG Dragon Ball stuff as well. We're going to be getting Dragon Ball Z. We are going to be getting Dragon Ball Super. And if I'm not wrong, we are going to be getting Dragon Ball GT as well. And judging by, there have been a few leaks here and there, and it supposedly says, please do not quote me. I'm not saying this. I saw this leak the other day. I'm not too sure, but it is saying that the game is going to be releasing next year in December. I'm not too sure. Please do not take my word. I'm not too sure either. Just like I said before. So if that is the case, I think we will be getting Daima stuff as well. If that is the case and the anime actually airs by the time. In my personal opinion, we are going to be having a different section for movies. The anime will have this much, content. And it is going to go in a flow. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, all the good stuff, right? But movies some of them are not like non-canon and all the good stuff. And it is going to be a deter, in my personal opinion, if they just bring in Broly somehow or Android Super 13 or something, right? Like, I personally want a different section for movies and then a different section for the anime adaptation. Now, we've said about all this, what we're getting, at least judging by the trailer. But what will shock you is the fact that this game has been developing for more or close to 5 years. Now, one thing that I'm super excited about, and we know this as a confirmation since it is said by the producer of the game, and I say his name again, Mr. Jun Furutani, that we will have mini games in between the loading screens. So if you've by chance played Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team, you know what I'm talking about. So in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, you could be Goku sometimes, and you press the buttons really fast, and as soon as you press the button, Goku finishes a bowl of food. So they were pretty entertaining, in my humble opinion. Now, that must be because I was a kid back then, but I would still be down for that. No issues at all. Now, I think we've talked about enough. What's one thing that you guys are looking forward to? Let me know down below. And okay, before I go, we will discuss about the roster of the game. In a next video, in another video, I will try and do my best to get as much content related to Sparkling Zero out as much as possible. And I had an amazing time recording this video. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Joru no Joubao.